Namaskaram, I'm Rajiv Srinivasan. I have with me Sri Anil Pandala and Sri Gopinathan. This is the second video in a series that we've produced about development, specifically in terms of development in Trivandrum. And we have, in the earlier video, talked about past development initiatives. Now we'd like to talk about current development initiatives, both the disappointments and the potential growth that we could have seen. So let me ask Anil. See, Anil, you've been involved in various things here. So let me ask you your observations about ISRO, the airport, the master plan, etc. What's happened?
See, we had the pride of being the home for the space program in India. VSSC started in here in 1960s, early 1960s. But after that, the progress of VSSC has been very, very slow, and I would say that it was very strenuous because from what information I get from people who have been in ISRO, in VSSC, every request for additional land or additional facilities were met with a lot of delays and a lot of unnecessary questions. So with that, what happened is VSSC, where different departments got shifted to Ahmedabad and Bangalore, and ultimately ISRO headquarters shifted to Bangalore. It was actually functioning from Trivandrum. So the representatives who have represented the people of Trivandrum either in the assembly or in the parliament, they were there all these 77 years and they have done nothing to raise a finger against that movement. So we lost that. Similarly, we also lost our leadership in education. We also lost our leadership in airport because 1932 we had the airport opened here. And 1934, if I am not mistaken, we had the direct connectivity from Bombay to Trivandrum. We had a flight, bi-weekly flight from Trivandrum to Bombay. Now, all these leadership over a period of 30-40 years, the airport grew, and by 1991 we were the 5th international airport in India. We were declared as the 5th international airport. We had a tremendous amount of growth of traffic, but after that, what happened? I don't think there is any history in the world where some airport which has been doing well has been sacrificed to develop another airport. I think this is the wrong thing, and no representative from Trivandrum has had the basic common sense to support this cause and push it up. We also lost our leadership in the medical field. Sri Chitra was one of the first, not one, the first in the country to develop the heart valve, artificial heart valve. But after that, where has it gone? Regional Cancer Center was also the first of its kind in India. Where has it gone? So all these things, put together, it shows that Trivandrum has stagnated over the years, and the representatives who came here have not taken the leadership further. The Papanamkode Industrial Estate was the first in the country, in Kerala state, to promote a model where different industries work together and they grow. But where is it today? So if I reel out, it's a long list.
Sad list. But
very sad list.
But I have a few to add to that. For example, when there was investment proposed in Kerala for an IIM or an NIT or REC, AIIMS, all these have gone somewhere else. IIT, right? So why? I mean, Trivandrum could have had CETs. College of Engineering could easily have been upgraded to an IIT.
And if somebody, raises a voice, then the representative here sends a letter to the Prime Minister, and that's the end of it.
Yeah. Similarly, the High Court. Okay, it's been basically a bleeding sore for us that we don't. I think we're the only state capital in the country that doesn't have a High Court bench, and there are pathetic reasons for it. But let me ask Hari, please give us your opinion about millennium as well as railway development and the metro. These are all things that I find to be very unfortunate.
Right. So if we start with metro, it's a classic case of wherein something that the elected representative should have been like pushing for, considering that the place is growing and we got like a lot of urbanization happening, people moving from rural areas. But since 2000s, we have been hearing a lot of studies. Nothing has happened over the past 24 years. It's not like just 1 or 2 years. It's 24 long years. The main reason is that both the state as well as the center you cannot blame. They have got a lot of projects that they have to look at, and they will prioritize based on how much noise the state makes. Now the Kerala state doesn't make a noise when it comes to Trivandrum. So what was supposed to have been the first metro project back in 2000 got shifted to Kochi. Now I'm not saying that Kochi should not have a metro, but it should not be at the cost of the capital city. Both should come up. That's my view. And unfortunately, the state always, whatever be the political party in power, always seems to do that sort of preferential treatment, which works to some other place, which always works against Rwanda. Willingham was was also a long-running saga. A lot of people, like around us, have contributed in various ways. I mean, like we all have stories to talk about Willingham, our various contributions and all, and elected representatives did their part to give them their due. Now, what happened with Willingham is that government did step back at a certain point and let the private contractor, in this case Adanis, to do their work. Of course, Adanis themselves are not perfect in the sense that they also have their own limitations, but it's the government, it's the elected representatives who have to constantly keep pressure on them to deliver, and they seems to be delivering now, and hopefully we'll have the project commission. And for railway development, yes, we have got like some of the oldest and really nice railway stations, but old railway station doesn't mean that they got excellent facilities. We got a lot of things that need to be fixed. We got signaling that needs to be automated so that we don't have like delays, because this is like a heavily used line between Trivandrum to Shornur. So those are some of the things that.
Yeah, as an example, there are 3 stations that are being developed at the cost of about 700 crores each in Kerala. Not one of them is in Trivandrum.
Right.
And it's particularly bad because Kochuveli is a critically deficient station. They have nothing there, and it's a long distance station.
And Trivandrum Central has consistently been the highest earner revenue wise. That means there's a lot of traffic there.
Right.
It's as simple as that.
10 lakh footfalls every month.
Right.
And then the facilities there, I find it very peculiar that there are up escalators but no down escalators. Most of the platforms. Why?
I guess you are supposed to kick down your suitcase down the stairs.
The other thing I find really funny is that at least on platform 1, there are all these coach position indicator LEDs. None of them has ever worked. They work just fine for advertisements, but not for coach position. So we've had a number of issues there. But the other thing here I've been talking about is the branding of Trivandrum. What is your view on that?
Oh, that's there is absolutely no branding. I think the LDF government in their last manifesto did specifically mention branding, but I don't see any action there, even though they control the state government as well as the Trivandrum Corporation. Classic example is William Port. So when the first ship came up, and there was a lot of good publicity, much needed publicity about how this is one of the biggest infrastructure projects of India. And strategic, definitely. Like not just India, but the entire Indian Ocean region, one of the biggest ports that's coming up. Great. Now, and there was a lot of coverage in the national media as well as international media. Now, the major problem is nobody understood what the name of the port is, because everybody, 100% of the news anchors or presenters mispronounced Willingham. They either said Vizingham or Willingham or Willingham.
They can't say
They cannot say that. Yeah, and then nobody knows where Willingham is. They didn't even know whether it's in Kerala. Now, instead of that, it should have been just called Trivandrum Port and stop at that. Willingham is just a suburb right now of Trivandrum. As is, like, for example, when we are talking about like an international urban agglomeration area specific, it's just a suburb. It should be called Trivandrum City. I mean, it's part of. It's definitely a beach of Trivandrum.
But it's considered
a different entity. Yeah. Now this happens only in the matter of Kerala, because Cochin International Airport, as we were talking about, is called Cochin and not Nedumasheri Airport. Nedumasheri Airport is, people talk about it colloquially, but it's always here. Whereas in our case, and it's Cochin Port. It's always like that. And then in our case, it's Vilnius, and we had to watch this massacre, as you rightly pointed out, happen. And now we are going to have the commissioning coming up. I really hope that the elected representatives put their, foot down and say that this is Trivandrum Port, and that's it. And hopefully the state government also pushes for it.
Right. Well, let's go back to Anil. You had a lot of experience, for example, with the so-called Outer Ring Road and other such road projects. What is your opinion of how they've gone so far?
See, what we have lost over the last 77 years is one story, and there is hope for us if the new elected representative, as Hari said, puts his foot down and gets things done. One project which is a real game changer will be the outer area growth corridor, which is a 2.5 kilometer wide growth backbone. This was conceived when I was heading the transaction advisor, Island Affairs Development Corporation. I was heading that. So that project will bring in a complete growth prospect for Trivandrum, because the road in that is just a concept for transit-oriented development. Unfortunately, the government had reduced it to just a 4-lane road. But now I hear that they are back to the original idea of transit-oriented development of the region, which is good. If that comes up, that is one ray of hope for people of Trivandrum, and if especially the representatives take it up,
because that will enable the city to grow without impinging on the facilities. In fact, it will enhance the facilities of people.
Planned development of its transportation requirements, dovetail into the whole development process. So that's called transit-oriented development. It's a wonderful concept. Right. Anyway, that
another thing I wanted to talk to you about is the National Waterway.
The National Waterway is another hope for us. Whatever has been shelved, Trivandrum to Kovalam to Kollam was shelved. The National Waterways from Kovalam to Bekal. For various reasons, political reasons, Kovalam to Kollam was shelved. Now this new representative should put his foot down and see that that is revived. Of course, Vizhinjam is everybody's story. I don't have to talk about it. And probably, the Greenfield Stadium for sports lovers, Greenfield Stadium and the Sports Authority of India facility, SAI facility, should be integrated to become the next Patiala of India.
Okay, so these are some of the things that didn't go very well in the last few years. So let's stop this video now. In the next video, we'll talk about potential future growth for Trivandrum and development. Thank you.